So Vaibhav, can I ask you if you can tell me that do I really have to be a technical guy to solve this problem or to have a POC in place?
For MVP and for initial stages, no. Hi guys, this is Vaibhav,
Hi, this is Akshay.
and today we will be discussing about how to build a proof of concept for your company and how to make a MVP, that is minimum viable product for your startup. So guys, whenever an entrepreneur starts building his startup, he normally goes through a basic steps towards building his product or service. So the first step, for example, is doing some market research, primary research and secondary research, and then making a very basic product, which then goes on to prove that his idea is actually valid. There is demand for the product he is going to create in future, and using that proof of concept, which then has given him new confidence, he can go on build his business and also ask money from investors, because now he has proven that there is indeed demand for the product.
Absolutely. So from the moment that you have an idea that you want to do something, you need to actually get users. It is your belief that your idea is something that consumers want, but it may not be actually true. So you need to create some kind of a platform where you can get a customer who's actually willing to use your product or service, and that is when you actually prove that yes, this is a problem and you need to solve for it. I'll give you some few examples that companies who did POCs or who did an MVP and then moved into a proof of concept. When I say POC, so one very good example is the Airbnb example. Airbnb was earlier called as Air Bread and Breakfast, and the whole idea was that there were two guys who really didn't have money to pay rent, and they decided to rent a couch in their apartment. And it just so happened that there was a college festival or a sports event that was happening in the nearby area, and they created a small, very basic website. You can actually see the image over here, and you would see just how doesn't really look that great, right, as you compare in today's date. But they got their first customer over there, and that actually made them believe that yes, this is a service that somebody really needs, and then they started building more on their product. The other way you can actually see is the Facebook product. The Facebook product was very basic when you first launched it, or the Instagram version, right? So all of this you can see here, but then these were all basic products which just offered the functionality that the entrepreneur believed is going to be there. And in today's date, you will see that there are so many more features, functionalities, AI, ML, all of these built on top of that product, so that they can offer better services to you.
Yeah. So guys, also first we have to understand what MVP is, and before I go into the steps of building your product. So as the word suggests, minimum viable product, it is basically a product or service with basic minimum features which captures the essence of the solution that you are going to build. Guys, so an MVP really doesn't have to be a mobile application. It doesn't really have to be a website. A WhatsApp group can be a good MVP. For example, let's say I have a business idea where I want to sell medicines in my society. So I create a WhatsApp group and I ask people, okay, if you have any order, please give it here and I'll deliver it. Once I have demand and I have people onto the platform and they are asking for the service, I have actually proven that there is demand for the solution that I'm gonna bring. Akshay has many examples of companies that started with WhatsApp group. Facebook group is also a good MVP. A YouTube video can be an MVP. For example, let's say I have an idea to launch a web series. So what I do is I make a pilot episode, I upload it on YouTube, and then I show it to the world that see, there was traction for that one particular episode, which means I can build subsequent episodes as well.
Absolutely, and I agree with this point. You might have all seen Netflix picking up some, YouTube web series that have really done well and converted into part two, part three versions on Netflix and running big time right now, right? And there are multiple examples which you see on the cards above. And the second way that Weber was actually talking about how website, about WhatsApp or another website forum or platforms like Kickstarter, Facebook, all become platforms for you to prove that there is demand for your concept. One very good example would be, say, the Dukan app, right? Dukan is help people offline stores to actually come online very quickly. And how did they do this? They actually made a WhatsApp group, showed people that this is a way that you can sell, and then later on they realized that okay, I can create an app by which, very easy app in 3 steps, somebody can come online and create an online store, and that could again be sent out on WhatsApp so that they could connect with the community that they've already built on a platform which is existing. So in this way they basically build onto their business. The second very big example I think would be Misho. They also started on WhatsApp groups where women entrepreneurs or women, individual women in tier 2 tier 3 cities could do marketing in their free time and could sell products and earn a little bit more cash on it. They started on WhatsApp groups. Later on they understood that the demand is really high and they've created their own website, mobile app, and now they have their whole logistics company. They have everything in place at this point of time. There are multiple examples that I can actually give you. So Vaibhav, can I ask you if you can tell me that do I really have to be a technical guy to solve this problem or to have a POC in place?
For MVP and for initial stages, no. You can be a management person, you can be a generalist guy, and you can do that. But obviously, when you go for subsequent steps, you will need a technical team. Also, Dunzo also started with a WhatsApp group. The Dunzo founder, what he did was that. He created a WhatsApp group for people who just wanted to transfer stuff, regular stuff, and that's when he went from the application, from WhatsApp group to application, and then they got funding from Google, and then everybody then jumped into Dunzo model. There is Swiggy Go, and there is Wish Up, maybe something like that. So the steps, if we go into, is first is market research. You can do secondary research, which is normally literature research. You study articles, and you study
similar products in different geographies. All of this would come under secondary research, where somebody has shown some demand. Say if I had to launch Swiggy today and DoorDash already existed, then it would be very easy for me to kind of replicate that model. Right?
Yeah, there might be instance that you are the first one on earth to do it, but that is completely fine. And primary research is where you go into the field, you talk to customers, interview as many people as you can, and then you can identify the pain points and give you a better understanding of the market. For example, I remember that there was a conference by Revigo's founder, and she was saying that she had talked to around 500 truck drivers before she launched Revigo. So I mean, that is the level of primary research that is done. Once it's done, you will be on the topmost level of knowledge about that nascent industry.
But then also don't fall into a trap where you're always just doing research and not launching the product. So the best way to actually find out if your product is doing well is to launch multiple iterations where you feel that these are the things that would work, and then see whether something is working or not. A very good example for this would be that you think that the woman is the one who's going to drive business. Just for Misho's example, you would have a WhatsApp group to run in that way. You could also do the same thing in a different city and see where it is working, or you could have just put it in different platforms, say a Facebook platform, and see if it is working there. So you create multiple experimentations to actually then refine your product and come up with solutions to it. Anyways, building a business is a continuous learning process where you keep talking to your customers, doing this research on a continuous basis to kind of build a product.
Yeah. So after doing the market research, guys, just launch a MVP, WhatsApp group, Facebook group, basic application, basic website. Websites can be built easily with tools like WordPress and Wix. So just do that, and then try to get your first customer. Once you have done that, it will make your confidence grow by leaps and bounds, and then you can go on your journey of establishing your company. Also, right up till now, we have talked a lot about the software products, websites, applications. But guys, the similar logic also applies to hardware startups. If you are into a hardware business, then also you can launch a physical product, but it really doesn't have to look like a MacBook. Initially, it can look like a decent product, and then obviously you can go on to build subsequent products.
And nowadays, because we are so hyper connected with the internet coming so close to each other, and because also the fact that we are able to share things very easily, it becomes very important for us to also come up with a concept called as minimum design product. Okay, what do I mean by this? I mean to say that you need to have now some benchmark in terms of design, because people have got used to it. 10 years back, Airbnb or for Facebook, when they launched, the internet was just booming up, right? And for them it was still okay to be in that same level as what other websites were. But today there is a feeling that consumers have got used to something, and you need to give them that, and that is a minimum design basic, especially if you are on the software side of things, that you need to have at least some design framework or something that is happening, to kind of then not get backlashes from the customers who have built it. But that does not mean that you don't launch a product. You please go and launch, and then you keep working on the design aspect, so that they come to your website or to your product as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'm just go through. On internet you see the first Facebook page that was made, the first Facebook page or the first Google page. I mean, you will see that how they looked, and then eventually they got better with time.
So thank you guys for actually listening to us, and we request you all to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. Stay safe, stay at home, and keep taking care of your loved ones, and also eat healthy, because some way your immunity is what that you have to fight COVID in today's date, and that is very important.
Yes, guys. So see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.